Hi there, how are you? Hope everything's well. Today we have the Spanish beast for you to review, the PK100 by COMPAK Grinders. It's been on our list for a very long time and finally we got the chance to review it, test both version of Burrs, the espresso and the filter. So without further ado, let's start with the video. The PK100 says 100, but it has 98mm flat burrs and they are blind burrs. Keep that in mind. So it's one of the very few commercially built grinders with blind flat burrs, and it has two models, the first with a hopper, the second, the one that we have here for you, is a single dose version hopper. So this grinder is commercially built in Spain, in Barcelona, and the unique thing about this grinder is that although it's commercially built and it has a 98mm burrs, which are rarely well aligned when it comes to commercially built grinders, the first thing that comes to your mind is the EK Omni and the EK43. So we'll be touching on burrs alignment shortly. But to start about the build quality, it's a beast, it's a massive grinder, 25.4 kilograms. It's really heavy, and as you can see, it's lengthy. It's designed for a single dose coffee shop or cupping room, barista training, filter dose grinder, and it can also do espresso. We wanted to get in touch with COMPAK to get the version that has filter burrs pre-installed from the factory, pre-aligned, to check how efficient their alignment process is. And personally, we always lean towards filter burrs, which they told us can do espresso. So out of the box, the grinder comes with something super cool, which is grind particle analysis. If you can see here, the ground particle analysis, and it's especially for this specific grinder. Can you zoom in? So zoom. As you can see, it says the date 2024, December 18, and not only one, but it comes with two testings, one in filter, one in espresso. This is something really interesting, is that before shipping any grinder, they recalibrate it, test it, and they do the particle analysis testing. For us, physically, once we got the grinder, we did the marker test. We went ahead, you have two screws from the back, you lift the upper chamber up, then you have 4 Allen screws, you take them out, we did the marker test. We went to the point where burrs were not touching. Let's say burrs were touching at 0, we went to 5 microns on the grinding dial, like even far from touching, so you cannot hear it, but they will be touching very slightly. And we checked, it was very even wide. It was not 100%, but for 98mm flat burrs, it was almost perfect alignment. That was about the alignment. From the middle, you have the single dosing cup that comes with it, and we really love this dosing cup. It has an interesting shape, and you feel the build quality is very strong. From the inside, it has a concave shape, so ground coffee rarely gets stuck in there. It's really heavy, well built. After that, you have the fork mechanism, which is very unique to the COMPAK grinder. Now with those springs from the side, you can adjust the stiffness of them from the side, from this flat screw, and you can use either the dosing cup or you can use portafilter. It holds it right in place. It's very strong and durable. It's almost as a glove, fits right in place. We really love this fork mechanism. But for us, we found it difficult to use portafilter, as you want a dosing funnel and it's tough to fit the dosing funnel with the lip sitting here. So you can use the portafilter, but it's much more enjoyable to use the dosing cup. Yeah. As for the grinding chute, it's an interesting grinding chute because it has two mechanisms. Either you can do it as a knocker, and you can knock it to the top, to the lowest side or the upper side. The idea is that if you lift it up, from here you have a space, so you can put, here you can see the rubber, you can put coffee bag, and you will hold the coffee bag empty and grind through it. So if you have in a coffee shop, let's say you use this grinder only for grinding for customers, coffee beans, or you do batch brews, just to put the bag there, you are able to hold it with this ground knocker. From the front, you have the grinding dial and the on-off switch. So to turn the main switch on the grinder, you have it here from the side, and as soon as you turn it on, you'll hear the fan turns on. Which brings me to speaking about the fans. It has dual ventilation system. So basically you have one fan here from the back that coffee gets in, and it's really strong. As you can see, I'm putting my hand and I'm really feeling the air coming out of it. It's a very strong fan. And from the bottom, underneath the motor here, you have another fan to hit the air from the bottom. So you have dual ventilation system from the bottom, from the back. And I would say we really did season this grinder, especially with the filter burrs, because those are the ones who were interesting to us. And we went straight 3 kilograms around mocha pot or kind of espresso grinding profile, and that's really fine. And with consistent 3 kilograms of coffee beans, only taking breaks of emptying the coffee and putting coffee beans back inside. At the very final 200 grams, we are touching the ground coffee and it was barely warm. It's not like really warm. Whereas with other grinding, including the EK Omnia, which we did a review about, it tends to get overheated if you're like 3 kilograms consistent grinding. And the main reason is that due to ventilation system, one from the back, one from the bottom, and it goes on from the point you start the grinder. It does not wait for the grinder to overheat. So we come to the grinding dial from the front. You have the on-off switch here, and you have small LED light here. When you turn the grinder, the light will turn on. The grinder has very strong motor. It's around 700-800 watt motor, and it's not a quiet motor. You can be the judge here. It's noisy. It reminds me of the previous EK43 model. It's really loud grinder. Coming to the grinding dial, so this grinding dial, it has from 0 to 900 microns. So micron, basically it's not your ground coffee particles. It's basically, this grinder has burrs on this side. They are not vertical burrs, they are horizontal burrs, so one on top, one on bottom. And these burrs, you take them far from each other or closer to each other by 1 microns increment from here, from the grinding dial. Now it's a bit tough on the grinding dial to go with only 1 micron, and on espresso extraction it will give you a difference, kind of 3-2 seconds difference. But it's tough because it's a very stiff grinding dial. It's tough to do those 1 micron, but if you want to go fast, like this is at espresso range, filter, espresso, filter. It has those grooves to fit your fingers, but it's not super smooth grinding dial. But nonetheless, it's stiff, it will stay there. You will never accidentally hit it or move it. Like as you can see, I'm moving my hands on it and it's not moving. I need to give it a really strong grip so I can start rotating it. From the top, you have the single dose hopper. It comes with the silicone blower, and I would say this silicone blower is probably the most efficient, the best looking, and the most durable silicone blower we've ever tried. Because usually whenever any grinder puts a silicone blower, it does not fit the shape or the vibe of the grinder. But with the PK100, in our opinion, it looks nice, it looks beautiful, it fits the grinder. It does not look like something does not belong here or strange. It looks nice. You have a wooden cap on the top, you threw your coffee bean, then you turn the grinder on, and you open the grinding chute and you close it. So the smart thing about this portal or opening, they added some holes inside of it. So once you close it, to prevent any popcorn if it happens, and you want to pass the air through it, it will still be able to pass as there are holes inside this door. Speaking about the zero retention, when we shared the unboxing video of the PK100, a few friends who had previous experience about it shared their thoughts that the main issue with this grinder is the retention. And we were curious about that because, like, up to the point we were shocked. Many friends reported that it had a retention of 5 grams of coffee beans, and it beats the idea of this grinder. So initially what we did is that we cleaned the grinder, we got it ready, and want to check for the retention with this specific model to check if it's 5 grams or not. In filter setting, because in espresso it goes really some fine powder coffee particles, they might stuck in some gaps. I wanted to check for filter coffee settings, and when we put 20.1 or 20.2 grams, the retention was almost 0 or 0.1 gram from a fresh clean grinder, fully cleaned grinding chamber. So it was surprisingly good. After using the grinder for almost 5-6 kilograms, we opened the grinder, opened the grinding chamber, took the upper burr, made sure to clean it, to collect all the ground coffee that's stuck inside the gaps in this dosing cup. So you cleaned the upper burr, we cleaned the grinding chute, the grinding chamber, and the retention of coffee stuck in there, that's always staying there, it's not coming out, just filling the gaps, was around 0.6 gram. So relatively speaking, for this grinder that's commercially produced, the inner grinding chamber, the machining looks really premium, the retention is super low. You will usually get 0.1 gram to 0 in filter coffee. When you do espresso, you might get 0.1, occasionally 0.2, just because of the fat of the grinding route of the coffee, ground coffee coming to the dosing cup. Nonetheless, why it has low retention? First of all, because around COMPAK reported that 6 years ago, they re-improved the inner grinding chamber to improve the retention, and to the fact that it has so many methods to eliminate any retention. First of all, when you turn the grinder on, you start the grinder, the silicone blower, it's really effective. Then you have the knocker. If any ground coffee is stuck in there, on the on-off switch it says grind and clean. So basically what they want you to do is that to turn the grinder on and to do this move, like turn it on off, on off, on off. Because motor has very high torque, whenever it starts it shakes the grinder initially. So doing this multiple times, really if anything left in there, it will go down. But for us, on a daily use, what we found we enjoy, pour your coffee beans, give it 2 puffs, and everything is out. Don't need even to knock it. Now let's speak about the Burrs. So as we explained, we got this with filter Burrs, and our main aim was to consider on the filter espresso extraction. So with filter Burrs, we went initially with espresso extractions, and I would say those are super forgiving burrs considering they are 98mm burrs. Espresso extraction was super easy to extract. We rarely got channeling, and that's mainly because of the good alignment, but still they felt like they give you a good percentage of fine coffee particles to have good coffee puck for espresso extraction, and you can easily do the espresso. So for us, our burst touching point was at 0, and we used to extract espresso at 50 microns, 55. So you still have like 50 microns finer. Taste wise, it's tough to put it right in there, but let's speak about 98mm flat burrs. So with 98mm flat burrs, because they are very clean, sometimes it's very easy the margin of error using larger burrs. So getting bad espresso shots is very easy. Over extracting them, having some astringency, having not smooth espresso extractions is very common with large burrs. But with the PK, it was super easy to get delicious espresso shots, juicy, sweet, clean, but not super clean. You get that enjoyable body to makes you think like, are those even filter burrs? Because like they're really giving you that enjoyable espresso body. When it came to filter coffee, again, you are able to get that crisp juiciness of filter coffee. There's still some sweetness. Body was not the cleanest, but it's still very moderate. So if you're gonna put the filter burrs, we're gonna say like they are kind of multi-purpose burrs. They are not filter focused, neither espresso focused. They are very good in espresso, very good in filter coffee, but they do not shine like 10 out of 10 in filter or 10 out of 10 on espresso. I would say they are extremely reliable burrs, very forgiving, and they fit the purpose of this grinder. As a single dose, like if you have it in a coffee shop, you want to do filter coffee, it would make you very enjoyable filter coffee, but not the best. If you want single dose espresso, still super light roasted coffee beans were easily to extract, easily to enjoy, no astringency, super smooth. If you want to do cupping, you can also do that. And in the end, we want to try espresso burrs. So we got everything out and we wanted to install espresso burrs. The burrs swapping process is a bit difficult to do. So upper burr is super easy. You take this piece up, then you take the upper burr carrier. But the lower burr, you have to come and lift it from the side, then remove the inner screw and lift the washer. And then like with a plastic hammer, give it a knock, small knock in the middle to release the lower burr carrier. Remember, because those are blind burrs, so screws will be holding them from the back. Then you get the burrs out, swap them, then place everything back in and check for alignment. We had to slightly align the espresso burrs to get really well alignment with them. Visually speaking about the burrs, they look identical, but the only difference is the final cutting edges. They are slightly deeper than the filter burrs, and they do show that in espresso extraction and filter extraction. So if you had to describe it, basically we think that COMPAK designed the initial burrs for filter as very good versatile burrs. Then they wanted to provide burrs for people who love maybe really dark roast or really still want extra body with their burrs. It felt more creamy, but a bit astringency, more chocolatey, and you still have punchy acidity, but it's not enjoyable acidity. So when it was in filter burrs, it was enjoyable acidity, smooth, sweet. Here you have a punchy acidity and chocolatey overfeel. In filter coffee, body was strong. You're still able to enjoy your coffee beans, but whenever we taste anything in filter or espresso, we still prefer the filter burrs. So we're gonna put it that way. So to wrap this video up, just to give brief feedback to whom this grinder is. Obviously this grinder is designed for coffee shops, and we still know that many home baristas would love to have this at home. So if you are considering it, few disadvantages to know about: the stiff grinding dial, the fact that filter burrs, definitely go for them if you prefer, I would say, any roasting profile. Even dark espresso shots, it was very enjoyable. So for us, our like feedback, go for the filter burrs. Still, we wanted to see cleaner burrs maybe from COMPAK, because they are filter burrs, but they can easily do espresso, and they are not the really period cleanest burrs we tried, or out there on the top 3, let's say. So they are very clean, but we can feel that COMPAK can produce even cleaner burrs, more filter focused, or something new, because you are limited to its burrs. You only have the filter and espresso. They are blind burrs designed in-house by COMPAK. So it's a good advantage to have a different burr option. Another point is the noise. It's a really loud grinder. Turning it on off, it's really loud. Of course, your espresso grinder will be like 3-5 second cycle for 18 grams, but still, it's a loud grinder. And whenever you turn it on, the fan will be on. So that's something you want to pay attention to. And yeah, last but not least, let's show you how it sounds while grinding for espresso, while grinding for filter coffee. So we turn the grinder on. Let's put it at espresso. Let's open the portal. And it's done. Now if you look closer at the grinding chute, we're gonna give it 2 blowers to the silicone. So we see some ground coffee coming out. Then if you knock it, a few particles came out. Then if we turn it on off, few ground particles came out. So it has 3 methods of eliminating any kind of retention. At the declumper, you have like minimum kind of ground coffee particles. So it's a single dose grinder, but whenever we go to filter, we grind like 2 or 3 coffee beans just to ensure that those coarse ground coffee particles will push any fines out, to be sure that we are getting the best out of the grinder. So it's a definitely beautiful grinder, special on its own. It deserves more recognition. And we love to see maybe a newer model out of it, some new features add on, some digital grinding dial, any kind of improvement will be welcome, because in today's market, if you are thinking this for a coffee shop, it makes sense. The dual ventilation system, like it's a built for coffee shop to be super durable. In-house use, you have better options, more budget friendly alternatives, more designed for home baristas. So in home, we don't really think that it's reasonable, but for coffee shops, it should be on your list. That was it for today's video. Please, if you own the PK100 or you've ever tried it before, let us know your thoughts in the comment section. We love to hear different feedbacks, and everyone deserves to read different feedbacks. Thanks to COMPAK for sending this review unit, and thanks to you as always for watching, enjoying our videos, and yeah, see you very soon. Take care. Bye. They felt a bit kind of like so if you had to